Hey everybody, welcome in. We're just going to wait a few minutes to get started here, but as people are coming on, we just want to welcome you. We'll get started here. Just want to welcome everybody tonight to have everybody here for NAMI's first event of the week. And I'm going to, we're going to get started with tonight. We're talking about music and dance as an alternate therapy with Vic Rivera. And we have, we're going to play the video of him, and it's going to be an awesome night. So thanks for joining us. NAMI has a lot of events going on this week. We've got something going on every night, Monday through Thursday, starting at 7 o'clock. So if you're not aware of the other events that we have coming up this week, tomorrow we have yoga, and Wednesday we have art, and Thursday we have a social services speed kind of introduction with a lot of our local social services that are going to be provided. So just wanted to welcome you. If you have any questions through this presentation, please go into the chat and send the question to all panelists, and we'll do our best to get you an answer. We're going to go ahead and get started. And so welcome, and I'm going to go ahead and give me just a minute to get out and get the video started. And I hope you guys really, really enjoy it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Vic speaking. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and hopefully, we can each other learn something. I'm a very personable person. I like being, when I speak, I like to be in public, especially with things like this, so I can, interact a little better, answer questions, and just elaborate, better in person. But it is what it is. 2020 has been a very interesting year, to say the least. But I feel like it's not a bad year, but a year, a character building year, and it's the type of year that we're learning how to roll with the punches and how to adjust and just how to make changes. Some of those drastic, some not so, but I think, depending on how we look at things, it's for the better. So thank you to Danielle, thank you to Xavier, for giving me this opportunity again. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that hits very close to home to me personally, and we'll get to that. But first, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Victor Rivera. I'm 34 years old. I was born and raised here in Rockford, Illinois, the southwest side, and very proud to be from here, very proud to be from this neighborhood. So we're going to be talking about alternate therapies. And for me, my alternate therapy has always been music and dancing. And, it's something that has always been in my life. I've always been around music and dancing. It just never really clicked with me till I was a teenager. When I was in the 7th grade, I went to a pep assembly, or it was like what they call a Renaissance assembly. It was for like good attendance, good grades, and things of that nature. And that was the first time I ever seen breaking, or it's more popular term, breakdancing, for the first time. It was just the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, at that point in my life. I was watching cartoons and playing video games and stuff like that. But just the level of mastery that these guys, it was three men or three younger guys at the time, the things that they were doing with their bodies, the control that they had over their bodies. They were doing flips and doing headstands and spinning on their backs and spinning on their just using their wrists and balancing and doing all these amazing tricks. I was taken away, and it was just the most coolest thing. And right away, this was in 1999, so 20 years ago or whatever. This was way before social media and YouTube, and just being able to look up something and learn how to do it right away. So I literally took those moves that I saw and I tried to imitate them as best as I could remember, and eventually just kind of started teaching myself, and I got pretty good at it. So when I was a young, teenager, I did it just, really for fun. I made a lot of friends that way, and it was kind of like, it was a hobby. It was just a good time, being able to hang out with other kids my age who, we had that common interest in breakdancing. When I got into my 20s, it was still fun. Then I became a lot more competitive. I, entered competitions, did a little traveling here and there, and trained a little more extreme. Not extreme, but I had more of a training regimen. I would do certain things a day, and just really, I would focus on the move for hours or for days at that matter. Now in my 30s, I still dance, but it's not as still fun, still entertaining, excuse me. But now it's definitely more of something that I do to keep me focused. See, when you break dance, you are truly focused in that moment, and what you're doing. It's very hard to get distracted, or being distracted can be very, very dangerous. When you're upside down, or when you're on your, doing a headstand or a handstand, you really have to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your body, be aware of, if you're, tired or feeling a certain way. So really, breaking is really, to me, it's just a great example of self-control, and not just your body, but also your mind. Sometimes we go to those places in our minds that are the most wonderful places. But when you're dancing, you're so distracted, or you're more focused on what you're doing. Sometimes when I practice with other people, we're so focused on the music and the movement that we'll go hours at a time and not even speak to each other. It's a very surreal feeling, and it's something that's always just filled me with joy, and I just love doing it. Also, in my 30s now, I've transitioned more to DJing. I actually started kind of doing both. When I was in my teens, I started DJing at about the same time. Well, see, when I started breaking, I was a little like chubbier, and I didn't think I would be able to do those movements. Till I saw somebody who was a little bigger than me, and he moved like he weighed nothing, and I was just amazed, because he had control. He had control of his body, and he also had control of people around him. He didn't care what people might have thought of him. You might have saw him be like, oh, he probably can't do anything, and then he would bust out the most amazing things. So a little bit before that, I just started DJing. I'd always been into music, and I would collect music and stuff like that, MP3s and CDs and cassettes and records. Flash forward to now, I DJ for a lot of large-scale breakdancing events, being that I'm so familiar with the dance community and the type of music that to play for dance events. That really became something that I ended up doing more on the professional level. And it's something else that just fills me with so much happiness. When you play music for certain competitions or for certain events, I really tailor to those moments and try to bring out the best in dancers. See, the music and the dancing, they go hand in hand together. One really cannot exist without the other. The dancers can't move without the music, and the music is there to make the dancers move. Um, so that's really what I've been doing a lot lately is, or that's in my, last few months or whatever is playing music for these large scale dancing events. Um, so both of things, excuse me, both of those things I was self-taught. I taught myself how to, break, just imitating what I would see. Eventually meeting other people, we would share movements and share secrets with each other. Because now, now it's simple. It's really simple to learn. Um, to get started in dancing, you YouTube it, and there's it's great because it brings it home, especially if you're in an area where there may not be any break dancers or things like that. It's just easy to learn, and same with DJing. I taught myself how to mix records, like literal vinyl records. I taught myself how to mix them and do tricks and stuff like that. And now it's a little easier, and equipment's a lot more affordable. Um, and both of these things really help me out personally because when I do them, I'm just so hyper focused. When I'm dancing, I'm focused on, I'm listening to the music, I'm listening to my body. My body's telling me, maybe I shouldn't do something, or maybe I should do something. It's just, you're just so focused when you're breaking. It's to me, it's just a really wonderful feeling knowing that I can control and make my body do things that a lot of people can't do. And the same goes for DJing. When I'm looking for music, when um, I look for music on digital formats, but a lot of times I look for them on vinyl. And there's great record stores here in Rockford, like Culture Shock and like Toad Hall, um, where they have these great selections of music, and I'm always able to find something new. And one thing I like about what they call digging, which digging for music, record digging, is I can, sometimes I could be a little introverted. I can go to a record store and not really have to talk to anybody. Just kind of, I search for music and I read the labels and I look at the records, but I'm also just able to be out and about, um, get out the house, get some fresh air, listen to something new, maybe find something new. And it's just something that excites me is finding new music, because I know that if I play these songs at, the next event I got coming up, or the next event, the next event I'm going to DJ at, I know that, I'm going to get the reactions that I want. And, what I want, the reactions that I want is to bring the best of the dancers in those moments where, they need to be the best. The type of competitions that I DJ at are, people really going head to head at each other to be the number one, be it a prize or just be it for self, their own title or whatever. Imagine two warriors, two samurais going at it, and I'm able to provide that soundtrack because, like I mentioned before, the music enhances the movements, and it takes a level of skill, a level of mastery to even play certain tracks, and a level of knowledge, and it's something that I enjoy doing, is just looking for music, learning about new styles of music, and um, it just keeps me very focused. um, and I really owe a lot to dancing and to music. I when I started doing these things, it was simply for fun, and it still is. It's a lot of fun for me. It truly is one of the funnest things to me in the world. But I never thought they'd be things that would kind of get me out of a dark place I was in. Um, you know, Before 2018 or so, if you were to ask me about mental health, I honestly wouldn't have had an answer for you. And it's something that really, um, it makes me sad. I'm ashamed of that, because, and is it my fault? I don't know. I'm still learning, I'm learning these things now. But, I just always felt like, if there was a problem, if someone had a problem, that there was help. There would be someone to help you. And I mean, there is, but it's not as available as we'd like to think, In the 2018, um, my mother became sick, mentally ill. And, please, I apologize for my use of words. I'm not, still learning certain things, but I like to say that my mother was incredibly normal. Every day to day, she was normal. Everything was, like just like the greatest day. My mother was such a happy person. My dad is still, he's a very, he's a wonderful man. He's a very hardworking man. And we had just the best life with my parents. Myself and my two brothers and my nieces and nephew and even my daughter. My mother was such an important part to our life. And in the spring or early summer of 2018, she became ill, and it was the strangest thing because it was out of nowhere. And I still can't explain it to you, and it's still something that really I think about every day. I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me, it really something that I think about very often. And we were looking for help, and my mom, she wanted to hear it from a professional. No matter how many times we told her, um, no matter how many times we told her it would be okay, it just wasn't good enough for her. We're not doctors or very educated, respectfully, of course, but to that tier, she wanted to hear from somebody who was a doctor, and we found, I believe, a psychiatrist. Um, and the only Spanish speaking psychiatrist in town was booked for months or weeks for just the longest amount of time, and he just had no time to see a new patient or whatever. And I'm it's something that again, it's something else that I deal with. I'm not mad at this person, I understand, but you know I wonder if that would have made a difference, you know um and it just it just it just didn't help us at all. It didn't help our case with my mother. And there wasn't a lack of love. We spent every day with her almost for those last few weeks. There wasn't a lack of money. I mean, we would have pulled through together, or insurance. There wasn't a lack of anything. I mean, it was just the strangest thing. And I honestly can't. I wish I had a straight answer. um you know but I don't. and one night, our life just changed. um I got home from work, because I work nights, and I got home one day, and I never saw her again alive. And it was very difficult to comprehend. It still is. It's been 2 years for me. And when everything was said and done, the funeral and all that, I just retreated, within myself. I was very sad. And I didn't want to do anything anymore. I didn't want to, everything I was doing was just for self-preservation. I would wake up and I would eat and I would use the restroom and I would shower, but things that I would do on a daily basis, but they held no meaning to me. The days just felt like nothing. I would when if I didn't have to work, I would just be in bed, or I would sit on the couch and I would just stare at the TV. I wasn't even watching it. At some point, I wanted to just give everything up. Um, as far as I didn't want to dance anymore, I didn't want to be a DJ anymore. I wanted to get rid of all my equipment. I just didn't want anything to do with this lifestyle anymore, and I came very close to just kind of getting rid of everything. Um, Fortunately for me, I guess. um, I had I had still had pending gigs, performances, and I wanted to honor them. And I'm just not the type of guy who will tell you, if I tell you yes to something, I will honor that. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I have a bad habit to say yes to a lot of things. But a lot of times there are things that I know will make me happy, but sometimes I don't know. It's just I don't know. So I honored some of my commitments that I had for late summer of 2018, early fall, and it just really made me realize, getting back into these things that I've been so passionate about for most of my life. It just made me realize that I love these things and they're a part of me. And when I was able to kind of come to and kind of find myself again, I kind of just got back to work and got back to doing things, and a little bit at a time, I just kind of started finding myself again. You know, these things that I do, the DJing and dancing, is I've always just had fun doing it. I make a little money here and there. I'm not gonna lie, but it's never been the reason why. These things they fill me with joy, and I love sharing it with other people. 2019 was a very, very good year for me as far as traveling and performing. I did more states and more cities than I've ever done, and that just made me incredibly happy that people were reaching out to me from far away, and they wanted me to be a part of their events. It was an honor for me, and I think it would it would have really made my mom happy, because she knew how happy I was when I would do these things, and and I would challenge anybody to try these things, to try not just breakdancing or not just DJing. Try anything that you might have never thought would be something that you would be able to do. I never thought I'd be dancing in front of crowds, hundreds, thousands even. I never thought I'd be competing, from people. I've competed with people against Japan and people from Amsterdam, people from Milwaukee, people from Philadelphia, people from Chicago. I never thought I'd be DJing huge events for hundreds and even thousands of people at times, where I'm the main person, and it makes me so happy. And I would challenge anybody to do something out your ordinary. If you are talented at some point, if you were a painter or a singer or a dancer or something, anything, just give it a shot. We live in Rockford, has such a great artist community. And even through the COVID and the things that are going on, it's still striving. There's still little shows here and there. There's still platforms. There's platforms for dancing. There's platforms for music, and I would just encourage anybody to try those things. And that's my therapy. Those are the things that make me happy. When I'm in that floor, or when I'm on my turntables playing music, it makes me happy, and it makes me appreciate everything that I have so far. When I was in that dark period of my life, I was no use to anybody, especially myself, my wife or my family or my daughter. I was just there, and I was just, I was coping. I was grieving, but I definitely wasn't living. And every day you just have to remind yourself that life is beautiful and everything is beautiful, and we could find positivity in everything. Even 2 years after my mother passing away, I'm happy that I can help out a little bit. I can speak to the community. I could speak to people who look like me, who have the same background as me, who talk Spanish, who have who still have these stigmas of the old country of mental illness being something that doesn't exist. I'm happy that I can help somebody out, and if this video or any of these videos that are going to be presented this week can help you out, then I'm happy I was able to contribute, and I'm happy that I'm able to meet people who want to help out. And my goal and my hope in the future is that there is more resources for everybody, pardon me, but especially Spanish speaking people, because if I could help one person not feel what I feel or not think what I think, it would it would make me very, very happy, and continue to inspire me to just want to help people out. 'Cause I believe that at the end of the day, our service to others is the rent we pay on this earth. and I'd like to be around for a while if that's okay with everybody else. um, but like I mentioned, doing those things are really my how I how I deal with excuse me how I deal with just my mental health. And it also keeps me physically just in shape, and it keeps my spirits up, and it keeps me um, genuinely happy. And these are things I do on the daily. I do, I try to practice at least every other day. I try to, look for music and play music on the off day where I'm not practicing. And usually on the weekends is when I would normally perform or do something like that. Again, right now with the COVID and just the social distancing, I've really kept my distance, because it's just been difficult, and I want to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem, and I'm hoping by next summer things will be um, a little bit more normal. Um, but again, those are the things that I do that make me happy, that make me focused, that take me out of those you know dark times. It's also how I interact with other people. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes I'll dance with somebody, share the floor with somebody, and I won't even we wouldn't even talk to each other. But it's not in a form of disrespect. It's just that we are both in the zone and we're both sharing something, and it's a very genuine feeling. Excuse me. And it's something that I really love doing. I mean, I can't say that enough because it's 100% true, and I love it. And if anyone really wants to reach out to me, if you have any questions about dancing, or if you have any questions about any upcoming things, things are slow, but there still are events going around town. I mean, I've met most of my friends in the last 2 or 3 years going to art shows and going to dance events around the Midwest area, but in Rockford, I've met so much wonderful people who have similarities to me, and I'm happy to be able to go places where I could talk to somebody or just know somebody. But please, I'm available to talk to anyone or give anyone any advice. I'm sure my information will be down here on the description, but please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to the like NAMI, and I'm hoping more organizations start kind of coming together under the NAMI umbrella. But it's been such a difficult time, especially when it comes to mental health, and I feel like more than ever we really need just more understanding of each other and more compassion and more love. Um, we just really need to be there for each other because there's so many. I mean, there's so many, terrible things going on, and I mean, we could go on and on about that, but we really here in Rockford, especially for Spanish speakers, especially for like the west side and the south side of Rockford, we need more resources. We need more places for people to speak about, get help for mental health and suicide awareness and things like that. And I really feel that these things help create that awareness and help people kind of get out of the shadow. I know it could be something that it could be difficult to speak about or difficult to reach out about, but you're not alone. And I've learned that myself. Other people have felt what I feel, and I've been able to speak to a few people about the situation, because they're at the end they're all the same, or they're very close, very similar. But you're not alone, and there's people who are willing to help, and there's people who are willing to listen, and there's people who are willing to be there for you, self included. So I really hope that this helped out a little bit, and it helps me out, believe it or not, when I'm able to share the stories. Even though it makes me sad and makes me think about other times, better times with my mom. But I'm happy that I could use her as as a beacon of light to help other people out, to help people who are going through maybe something similar. And I hope that together we can help create awareness and help create resources and ultimately help end these diseases, mental illness diseases. Um, so once again, thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate everyone who's reached out to me about doing this. It's really my pleasure. It's really an honor for me. I'm available, and have a nice day. And please, again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions about anything. I want nothing more than to help out people express themselves artistically and really transition to the next level and leave the just leave the darkness behind, because there's so much to look forward to, and there's so much beauty. And I hope that I can help you realize that, and that you're not alone, and that you matter, and people care. Have a good night. It's Vic signing off. Peace.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We do have Vic on with us tonight. First, I just want to take a minute to say thank you, Vic, for being so raw and real and emotional. Being someone who has lost a loved one to suicide myself. I've watched that a couple times, and every time it chokes me up a little bit because I know those feelings. I remember those feelings. So thank you just for being open, honest, and raw with what you're feeling, what you're going through, and sharing your art with us. We don't really have any direct questions, just a lot of thank yous and awesome job, and just for opening your heart and sharing. But I did kind of have just a general question for you. I see through us meeting, actually, I met your brother first, and then I met you, and we've collaborated on a couple different things, and I hope we'll continue to collaborate. But I've seen that you share this of dance with your daughter. Tell me a little bit about that and why you do that, and how I see her doing some of those break dance moves, and it's so adorable. And I love that you're passing that, that art and that passion down to her. So would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thanks again for allowing me to speak a little bit and share my story a bit. It takes so much, on top of it being fun and being a great exercise, it does require some discipline. So the first things I taught her, the dance from 1 to 8, just because the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then it was just really us just hanging out and kind of me trying to make learning a little more fun for her. And she just likes it. It's because there is a technical side to it, but there also just is a free form side to it where it doesn't really involve any thinking. It doesn't involve anything really. It's just what you're feeling at the moment and expressing that on the dance floor. And that's really where a lot of dancers come from, really not having any type of too much technique. It's more just a free form and more of just conveying your emotions in the physical form.
My other question I had is, in the last couple years that you've been kind of on this journey since losing your mom, have you seen any change or improvement in the Hispanic culture, kind of moving towards more openness and understanding of mental health, and bringing more resources here for that specifically?
Unfortunately, I can't say that I have. I've gone to a few things where it's been mainly for Spanish speakers, but the attendance is always very low. So that's definitely something I'd be interested in helping out in. I'm not sure if it's just like people not getting the word, or like an advertisement thing, or people still kind of being,
led by the stigma that, it's not a real thing or something like that. But, and then obviously with the last year's or the last few months, it's kind of been a loss because we haven't been able to do much. I was actually, I believe in March, I was going to be a part of something, and when we're going to start promoting it, we just couldn't anymore because we couldn't have a large gathering. But I'm hoping after everything kind of gets back to normal, we can definitely move forward and just help create that awareness.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's really all the questions I had. Like I said, we didn't have any questions in the chat, just a lot of thank yous and awesome job. And I just want to thank you again. It takes a lot to put your heart out on the table for anybody to watch, but I believe that our stories are powerful. All of our stories need to be heard, and that our stories can be, the key that unlocks the door for somebody else, right? So the more we're able and willing to open and share our story, the more others will be able to open up and share their story. So thank you for kicking off Mental Illness Awareness Week with your story and your art. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. And tomorrow we'll be here at 7 p.m. again to get with Marissa, who does alt yoga. It's definitely a different and new way of doing yoga. I had my first experience with it about a week ago, and it was a blast. She's an amazing person as well. So I hope you guys will join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And again, thanks, Vic. I look forward to the next time we're able to partner together and do something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again for having me.
Have a great night, everybody, and thanks for joining us.